Hey buddy. So tonight is the Innistrad pre-release, and I've seen that my most popular videos are usually my pre-release videos, and it's always the limited stuff that gets the most views. And recently I've become a better limited player. In the last few drafts I've done, I've wrecked, and except for one, I've gone undefeated. I've been doing sealed with my friend of Innistrad recently to test it out, to get maybe an edge and understand the environment before we go to the pre-release this weekend. One thing I must warn against is if you're depending on a werewolf for one of your bombs, you're screwed. Werewolves in limited aren't the best. The werewolves to play in limited are the ones that are like that 4/4 that turns into a 7/7 that costs 5 mana, the 2/3 that turns into, what was it, like a 5/4? Something like that. Those guys are reliable solely on the reason that their mana correlates to their power and toughness. The 3-mana'd guy is a 2/3, that's fine. And then he turns into a 5/6? A 5/4? Correct me on that one, I don't remember. But the 5-mana one's a 4/4, it turns into a 7/7. Those are fine even if they don't transform. But if you pick that rare over there that's, what was it, a 3/1 with first strike, then transforms into a 3/1 with double strike, you're not going to get there. In limited, they do not transform as often as you would think. And with cards like Think Twice, your opponent screws you so hard, because not only do you have to skip a turn to hope to go more aggro your next turn, you need to also hope they're not going to play an instant at the end of your turn to be like, oh, you skipped your turn? Thanks, bro! So, yeah, the biggest warning is with werewolves. The transform mechanic isn't that great in limited. I mean, if you have Garruk the Relentless, nice pull. Otherwise, werewolves aren't that great. Hopefully you'll get Moon Mist or the Lord, an actual pull, and then maybe it can work for you. Otherwise, I would say only put a few werewolves. Try to go more reliable creatures. Blue is amazing in this set. It's freaking awesome. That whole Frightful Delusions card, oh my god. Not only is it a force spike, but it's like, you can consider the card a depowered Blightning. Every time I've played it, it changed the whole tide of the game. Removal actually isn't as widespread as usual. Black has some pretty good removal, but a lot of it's conditional. White has its pacifisms. White actually has some of the best semi-removal. By semi-removal, you know, I mean pacifisms and the one that makes the creature flying and they can't deal or get any damage. You know, has a lot of good of those things. And also the one that destroy target attacking creature, that's amazing. Rebuke. So, overall, red has only 2 playable removal spells. I don't know. It didn't seem good. Blue has some bounds, which is pretty good, and quite a bit of counters that work really well in this limited format, so they're fine. Green actually has the coolest kind of removal and the most proficient, but it's a gamble. You see, the whole fight mechanic is now Green's destroy spell. And the only reason that's bad is because, you know, they can always go pump my guy or decrease the power and toughness of your guy with a certain card. Quite a few times I ended up playing Mass Hysteria and wrecking my opponent. Humans also are really good in this format. Like, you have that 1-mana 1/1 that you can sack him for 2 mana and he pumps everybody. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I hope you all have a great time at the pre-release. Of course, I'll make the post-pre-release video and asking you guys how it went and all, you know, the usual stuff. But this is something I hope to continue in the future, as I've had availability and time and a group of people to do a proxied seal pull, where we took a random number generator and all. Those of you that have done it before, you know what I did and how it would turn out. And the worst thing is just having werewolves as your bombs. Having them as your average creatures are fine. The one that I find that's going to be amazing and constructed, but is totally lackluster and limited, is the one red mana guy that turns into a 3/2. He does nothing in limited. Because, realize, even if you get him out on turn 1, you're going to have to skip your turn 2. Something that, you're not really going to want to do, trying to be a fast stack, like red and all. You're going to have to skip your turn 2, so by turn 3 you're going to swing for 3. So you might as well play another creature, do something else, put another spell in there, because that's really nothing. And if you get him late game, what are you going to do for 1/1 late game that's going to turn into a 3/2 if you skip a turn? Now I know what you guys are going to say. You're going to be like, well, we don't need to skip a turn. What if our opponent doesn't play a card? Are you really going to take that gamble? Are you going to be like, well, it's very easy for him to have a counterspell. He has about 15 counterspells in his 40-card deck. I'm going to play my bomb now. Hopefully he doesn't have the counterspell. It's like that scenario. It's not really worth it. The one guy that I do find is worth it is the Lord, solely because even if he doesn't transform, he pumps up all your humans. And going green-white with him, holy crap, so good! And even if he transforms once, also you get card advantage. So, I hope to open up him and Garuk. So, I hope everybody has fun at the pre-release. Best of luck, and I'll be back with another video after the weekend.